Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you tonight about holiday trips. American Thanksgiving's coming up and you'll be driving to see friends and family, hopefully, not with all this crazy pandemic. But we'll talk about that tonight so you get there safely and arrive and have fun and get back home. Stick around. We'll be right back with that information. Hi there, Smart Drivers. Welcome back. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you tonight about long holiday trips. I know a lot of you have been postponing those because of COVID and whatnot, but American Thanksgiving is coming up and you will travel to see loved ones and friends and family. Tim is here, my friend from Drive Smart BC. If you want to know anything about legislation, road legislation, and traffic laws in the province of British Columbia, Tim has an excellent website. Make sure you check that out. And my friend Tim Holland is here from Winnipeg. Johanna is here. Hello. Bakari said that he passed his learner's license on Thursday. That's absolutely awesome. Really great. And so it gets a bit busy here. Last few weeks has been really super busy. So if I don't get to your question, definitely repeat your question or just send me a reminder. I'll have a look in the comments to see if I can get to your question for you. And we'll get going for you. And Corey is here, Bricks for Wheels. He is the moderator, the real beauty queen. I got my license. Thanks for your videos. You're most welcome, and so happy that we could help you out. Congratulations. What did you do to celebrate getting your license? Because you got to remember, you got to celebrate getting your license. That's awesome. And Brianne said she passed on the 6th of November. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And Trude's here from Nova Scotia. Awesome. Welcome. My road test in 2 days. Johanna. Excellent. You're going to do well. Good luck on that. Remember to breathe, and that will cause your body to relax, so you're going to do well. Tim, you're most welcome. Margaret, no Thanksgiving this year. We are under travel advisory. Yes. And Margaret, just remind you, you're in Maryland, right? Is that correct? Catherine, hey Rick, almost hit my first moose last week on my trip back from 100 Mile to Vancouver. Crazy how fast your reflexes kick in. Yeah, yes, it is, Catherine. And also, you realize how big those things are. They are like 3 cows. They're huge, especially if you get a bull moose. So basically what we do here is with the presentation, I got a slideshow presentation for you here. 10 or 15 minutes on the slideshow presentation, and then after the slideshow presentation, we spend the remainder of the hour answering any questions you have about passing a driver's test, being a safer, smarter driver, or starting a career as a truck or bus driver. So let's get going on the presentation here, and then we'll come back and we'll answer any questions you have. So today we're talking about road trips in preparation for the American Thanksgiving and other holidays coming up, Christmas and whatnot. And Margaret, yes, of course, Brooklyn, New York. I should have known that because you've been sending me emails. I apologize. So there we go. Okay, for those of you who may be new to Smart Drive Test, my name is Rick August. I drove truck through the 1990s, mostly Canada into the United States, east of the Mississippi. Became a licensed commercial driving instructor in 1997. I have a doctorate in legal history with a specialty in policing as it relates to traffic, oddly enough. And while I was going to university at the University of Melbourne in Australia, I drove buses for Greyhound, so I have coach experience as well. And if you want to know more about me, you can check my autobiography out. You can find the link down in the description there. And yes, I was going to say something else there. I don't remember what I was going to say. Easier to get your license in the wintertime and pass your on-road test. Yes, I know that's crazy. I know that's hard to believe, but I did put a video up for you this week. Don't get snowed. Corey will put the link up for you in the description. But have a look at that, and we go through the reasons for that, and also we put a link to the longer video, the half-an-hour video, the description that will show you, give you all the details about passing your driver's test in the wintertime. And my friend Katie is here. Hello, Katie. All right, so the first thing is traveling for road trips and whatnot. You are going to be traveling on highways. You're going to be at higher road speeds, and this is the reason that you measure following distance in time, because as you increase your speed, you also increase your following distance if you're measuring in time, because speed is relative to time, obviously, okay? So you want to maintain your 2 to 3 second following distance. If driving conditions deteriorate because of bad weather, fog, snow, whatnot, then you want to increase that out to 4 or 5 seconds so that you have lots of distance between you and other vehicles on the roadway so that you can get your vehicle stopped, okay? Also want to be looking farther down the road so you can get the big picture, and making sure that you're working to interpret traffic patterns, and that way you can interpret the actions of individual road users along the roadways. So have a look at this video, Space Invaders, and that will give you more ideas and details and tips and techniques about managing space around your vehicle. Okay, predicting road user behavior, especially on interstates and freeways. You definitely want to be looking at on-ramps and off-ramps because traffic is going to be merging onto the freeway and they're going to be getting off the freeway. These are essentially the intersections on freeways for all intensive purposes, okay? So you want to be looking at those. You want to see who's coming out onto the interstate or freeway or the parkway or whatnot, because it might be a big truck or a bus or something like that, and then you definitely need to be working to slow down to help that vehicle out to be able to merge out onto the freeway and whatnot. All right, speeders, if you're not comfortable speeding or keeping up with the traffic flow when you're on a highway, then stay in the right-hand lane. If it's 3 lanes, then get out into the center lane and drive in the center lane, okay? Do not drive too slow. Make sure that you're looking out for other vehicles that potentially could be driving too slow, because it's just as dangerous on a highway or freeway or interstate to be driving too slow as it is to be driving too fast. So know that, and have a look at this video here as well on traffic predictions. Okay, shoulder checking. Make sure that you're shoulder checking right, shoulder checking left every time you move the vehicle sideways, every time you change lanes, every time you turn. Shoulder check twice. Even if you have blind spot detectors or you have convex mirrors in your vehicle, do not lose this driving skill. And I know there are a lot of people out there that do not shoulder check to the left. I had a good friend of mine, I've been in contact with him, he deals with my cell phone and whatnot, and he said he watched one of my videos and he was saying, oh, I was kind of surprised that, you know, you have to shoulder check to the left. But make sure that you do that. Do not dispense with that, because it could keep you out of a crash. Maybe not now, maybe not 2 years down the road, but in 5 years, if you instill that and you continue to shoulder check left, it may save you and save your family or other people from being involved in a crash while you're driving, okay? Cruise control. For long trips, use cruise control because it will reduce distracted driving. You don't have to monitor your speed as well. If you're using cruise control, it's also going to cause you to be less distracted, or it's going to reduce fatigue because you're not always checking your speed. It could also reduce the chances of you getting a speeding ticket because you're not worried about what your speed is all the time. As long as you set your speed with the traffic flow 3 or 4 kilometers an hour, 3 or 4 miles an hour below the post what the traffic flow is, then you're probably never going to have to come off cruise. You can just leave it on cruise and drive, and you're going to be significantly reduce the amount of fatigue when you're driving. Not to mention you're going to increase fuel economy on your vehicle. It's just going to be a much nicer ride. So cruise control, use it if you don't know how to use it as well. A lot of newer vehicles are going to have adaptive cruise control, and they're going to have lane assist. So you're going to have to pay very little attention, to what you're doing with managing your speed and managing space around your vehicle, because adaptive cruise control, you can set the following distance that you will be in behind other traffic and whatnots. And I would encourage you to set it at 3-second following distance if you do have adaptive cruise control on your vehicle. All right, if you don't already have roadside assistance, I would encourage you to have this. If you're not mechanically inclined at all and you can't change a tire on your vehicle, then for about $80 a month, or not $80 a month, sorry, $80 a year, CAA, the Canadian Automobile Association, or the AAA there in the States, the Automobile Association of America, you can sign up for them, and they will come out and they will change tires, do minor fixes, or they will tow you to a repair center. And depending on what level of service that you have, it's different distances for wreckers and those types of things, but they will do that. As well, make sure that you have, if you're traveling in the wintertime as it is now, make sure that you have a winter survival kit in your vehicle, and that includes a cell phone charger so that you can make sure that your cell phone is charged, because it's difficult to call for assistance if your cell phone is not charged. All right, and if your vehicle is broken down on the side of the road, make sure you put up the hood, because that is the universal sign that you are broken down on the side of the roadway. Okay, if you're traveling with children, yes, it can be great trips with your kids and those types of things. I know that anytime I travel down to Vancouver Island with my kids, it's just an awesome trip and great memories. But you need activities to keep them engaged. You need to plan rest areas and rest stops every couple of hours. You need to get out of the vehicle, and I would encourage you to do that anyway for long trips. Make sure that you're stopping every couple of hours at a playground or someplace where you can go for a walk, go to the toilet, get a snack, or those types of things if you don't already have them in the vehicle. Okay, and make sure that you pack the vehicle. You've got your directions. If you don't already know where you're going, do a bit of work on Google Maps. Don't just rely on your GPS. Also have a bit of information in your head as well. Have drinks and snacks readily available. Have activities for kids, reading and audiobooks. I really like audiobooks for my kids. And make sure that they have books and whatnot. My kids, they really like reading books in the car and whatnot. So, and Tim is saying that some insurance policies include breakdown coverage. So there you go. Some of your car insurance as well will look after you in addition to those other options that I mentioned with AAA or the CAA. Okay, and if the kids get out of hand or you get out of hand or whatnot, just make sure that you just stop and take a break. Sometimes that's simply the best thing to do. And along the interstate system in the U.S., there's lots of rest areas, lots of places to get off the freeways. They're well marked with signs and the amenities that are available when you get off the exit. The other thing that you need to be looking out for when you're driving is out-of-state plates, RV trailers and campers, people pulling, snowmobile sleds and those types of things. Do they have a roof rack full of stuff, skis and whatnot? Are they going to recreation areas? Could they potentially be lost or whatnot? Out of state or province license plates, make sure that you're looking for rental cars. All rental cars have a sticker on the back of them, whether it's Avis or Budget or whichever one it is. They'll always have a sticker on the back of the car, so be looking for those as well. And expect erratic road behavior. As I said, it's not a matter of if other people are going to be doing goofy things while you're driving. It's a matter of when they're going to do it. So always be ready and always manage space around your vehicle. Finally, passing. If you're on a 2-lane road, there are going to be passing lanes. We have taken care of that in the last 25 years with road engineering and have provided passing lanes. So sometimes it's simply a matter of waiting 5 minutes down the road and then you can get into the passing lanes and you can get around the slow vehicles and those types of things. Because I know it can be a bit challenging driving on 2-lane skinnies, as we call them in the trucking industry. All right, so good luck on your driver's test. Safe travels if you are going away for the holiday Thanksgiving in the States or in Christmas or whatnot. And if you have any questions at all, send us a comment here or send me an email over at the Smart Drive Test website there, and we'll definitely help you out. All right, transitioning back over here. So we'll answer any questions that you have. And Johanna, I have so much questions about what to do for my driving test. And excellent. Johanna, where are you taking your driver's test? We can definitely help you out there. Hall Phase, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Katie, how do I get into the habit of shoulder checking? Katie, it's going to have to be something that you're going to consciously be doing when you're driving. You're coming up, you're going to make a turn, you shoulder check. If you're going to turn to the right, shoulder check, and then as you're coming up immediately before, you shoulder check and make sure that you're looking for bicycles or pedestrians or any other road user that potentially could be on that inside of you. Same thing when you're turning left, just simply shoulder check. It's a quick turn of the head, and it's a learned behavior. And after you've done it for a couple, 2-3 months, then it's just going to become something that you do automatically when you're driving. All right, Mohammed, my problem is I miss my lane and speed control. So what do you mean, Mohammed, when you miss your lane? How can I be on my lane? So are you talking about, Mohammed, are you talking about missing your exit on the interstate or freeway? Is that what you're talking about? Because I can definitely help you with that. Bukhari, sir, today I'm here to stay. Thank you for everything. Bukhari, you are most welcome, my friend, and so glad that we can help you out. All right. Margaret, driving school cars, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. Do I have a choice? Does it matter? Margaret, most driving school cars are going to be front wheel drive because driving schools tend to favor Toyota Corollas or Honda Civics. Even if it's another kind of mid-sized vehicle, you're still going to be fine. So yeah, rear-wheel drives are very unlikely in this day and age. The only thing really left that's a real drive is a pickup truck. Other than that, most of them are going to be all-wheel drive, or they're going to be front-wheel drive. So most of what you're going to be getting out of driving school is going to be front-wheel drive. Okay, Johanna, you're in Stephansville, Texas. Awesome. So, pardon me. So, 4 major components of any driver's test anywhere in the world that you take it. So the first one is speed management. Don't get near anything. Don't get near other road users. That way you're less likely to hit something. So stopping at intersections, stop before the stop line, stop before the crosswalk line or the sidewalk. And if those two conditions don't exist, then stop just before you enter the intersection where the two roads meet. Stopping in traffic, stop behind traffic so you can see the tires of the vehicle in front of you, making clear contact with the pavement. Following distance, have a following distance of 2 to 3 seconds minimum under ideal conditions. Make sure that you don't enter any intersection that you can't clear, so make sure that you can drive through the intersection, don't get stuck in the middle. Red and yellow lights are the same color for the purposes of a driver's test, so if you see the light turn yellow, do all you can to get stopped. And of course, make sure you check the center mirror before you come to a stop. Make sure that the vehicle behind you isn't going to park in your trunk. So that's space management around your vehicle. Speed management, posted speed limit or the flow of traffic, whichever is less, but make sure that know that space management is more important than speed management. It's more important to keep your 2 to 3 second following distance than it is to maintain the posted speed limit. When you come around turns and those types of things and get out on the main roads, get the vehicle up to speed as quickly as possible. The next one is communication. You have to communicate effectively with other traffic. The way we communicate is lights and signals. Horn, use your horn sparingly. Eye contact, cyclists, pedestrians, those types of things. Use hand gestures, use all 5 fingers. Don't tell them they're number 1 on a driver's test. And the last way, the most important way that we communicate with other traffic is the position of our vehicle on the roadway. And then the last one is observation. You have to observe effectively for the purposes of your driver's test. You have to have a scanning pattern in place that you repeat every 10 to 12 seconds. Looking far down the road, in, check your center mirror. Far down the road, both shoulders. In, check your instrument panel. Far down the road, in, check your wing mirror. Far down the road, check your other wing mirror. And that repeats every 10 to 12 seconds for the purposes of your driver's test. Shoulder checking, as Katie said, you have to shoulder check every time you turn the vehicle, minimum 2 times, or any time you move the vehicle sideways, for example, lane changes or you're in parking lots or those types of things. When you're reversing, you have to do a 360-degree scan and then look out through the rear window. You can use a backup camera for the purposes of a driver's test, but you can't use it as your main line of sight. You simply look at it, check your area around your vehicle, and then look out the rear window when you're reversing. And then I recommend that you stop, pause every vehicle length, do another 360-degree scan, make sure that the situation around your vehicle hasn't changed, and then continue backing up. And that's basically it for the purposes of a driver's test. So again, just the 4 major components of any driver's test: space management, speed management, observation, and communication. And you have all of those in place, you're going to be great on your driver's test. Mohammed, I can't stay on my lane. How to stay straight on the lane? Okay, so Mohammed, you're having difficulty centering in the lane. So one of the things you want to do to be able to center your vehicle in the lane is to look farther down the road. Okay, if you can lift your vision up and look farther down the road, the vehicle will automatically center in the lane, because remember, the vehicle goes where we're looking. And if you're looking all over the place, the vehicle is going to go all over the place. The other thing you can do, and this is just simply a quick check, this is not something that I want you to be looking at, but there's a fog line oftentimes along the right side of the road. That fog line from where you're sitting as the driver should be in the center of the hood. And that will definitely help you out as well. And Corey will put the video up for you. There's another video that goes into much more detail about centering your vehicle in the lane. Colin, hey Rick, I've asked this question to you before, but it hasn't worked. How do I shift smoothly from first to second? All of the gears are fine, but I get a jolt from first to second. Okay, probably what's happened, Colin, is you're going too fast in first gear. First gear is just to overcome inertia. Just get it going. Probably 8-10 kilometers an hour, and then shift to second and get it going, and that should resolve your issue. The other thing is, if you're fine on every other one, still you got to make sure you get your foot completely off the clutch before you step on the throttle. That might be the other thing that's happening is you're not quite getting the clutch out all the way. It's out kind of halfway through the friction point and you're stepping on the throttle and it causes the car to jerk. That's the other potential issue that you're having. Colin, I'm adding gas in between shifts, but it doesn't really help. Okay, so you're trying to double clutch, but you're not really double clutching. So the other thing that you're doing, don't add gas. That's just wearing out your clutch. Okay? Johanna, will they fail me if I had a mistake for doing parallel park because I only parallel park once? Johanna, when are you taking your driver's test? DC, good evening. Rick, how are you? I'm finally bought my first car, an '05 Camry. That is awesome, DC. Congratulations on getting your first car. And the Camry, I think you're going to like that. It's a nice car. Is it a must to have a backup camera? No, it's not a must, Alam. Only newer vehicles are going to have a backup camera. It's not a must that you have a backup camera. Okay, Corey's put up the videos for you. Mohammed, thank you so much. Excellent, you're most welcome. And as Tim said, yes, that's the other point to keep in mind as well, Colin rather, sorry, is to look in your owner's manual and see what speeds they recommend you to shift at. But you'll find that if you watch the shifting faster video that I did, I don't stay in first gear for very long at all. I'm like, basically just get the vehicle going, rolling, and then I shift to second automatic right through that. So yeah, that may help you out with your shifting. Catherine, I had a guy on my bumper in a Jeep and I was passing a truck and a trailer and couldn't do anything but speed up and I was already over the limit. He was probably 1.5 feet away from my car. Yeah, Catherine, you got to do what you can and then just as soon as you get back past the big truck, just move back in front of the big truck as quickly as you can and let the person go somewhere else. It's unfortunate that people do that and I don't know why they do that. It's optimism bias. You put power steering and power brakes and airbags on vehicles and instead of getting what we think we're going to get, which is safer driving and less crashes and collisions and fatalities, we get people driving like morons. So sorry to hear. What do I do if he puts me way over the speed limit? It could cost me a ticket. Catherine, don't get forced by other drivers to be driving over the speed limit. If you're passing another truck and there's somebody behind you, focus on what you're doing, not on what they're doing, okay? So it's up to you to, when you're passing, you're going to go over the speed limit anyway, but just try and keep it within reason. Get past the vehicle as quickly as possible and then let the other driver that's tailgating you go on and have their crash somewhere else, okay? So really it's about focusing on what you're doing, not focusing on what they're doing back there, because it doesn't matter how fast you go, as long as they're behind you, they're still going to tailgate you. It doesn't matter. It's just the matter of the fact that they're behind you. That's all that's going to happen. So just get past the big truck and get in front of the big truck and let them go past you. Okay, Mohammed, how to control the speed, automatic vehicle speed up and goes. Yes, so, okay, Mohammed, so one of the things, Corey will put the video up for you on speed control, but Mohammed, you have to, it's tied to your scanning pattern. So every 10 to 12 seconds, you're looking down the road and you're checking your instrument panel. So every 10 to 12 seconds, you should be adjusting your speed. Your speed is not going to be constant. You're always going to be adjusting your speed. And your speed control is linked to your scanning pattern as you're driving in a forward motion. And so every 8 to 12 seconds, you're repeating that scanning pattern, looking down the road and checking your instrument panel far down the road, check your center mirror. And as you're checking your instrument panel, you're also adjusting your speed. Okay? James, how many hours did you practice before you take the driving test for beginner drivers that don't really know how to drive? James, for new drivers, I usually recommend kind of 6 to 8 weeks, depending on your aptitude and your ability to be able to drive a car. Usually, most people can learn how to drive a car and pass the driver's test in sort of 6 to 8 weeks. So that's usually what I recommend. Tim, if you have to speed to pass, you probably should not be passing, okay? And so that's what Tim is recommending from a legal standpoint as a retired police officer, that you shouldn't be passing. I don't think that very many people in the driving public are probably in keeping with that, Tim. most of them I know for a fact are going way over the speed limit to get past another driver. Johanna, on my driving test, if I accidentally turn a wrong turn, is that an automatic fail? Okay, so Johanna, no, that's not an automatic. Okay, let me back up. That should not be an automatic fail on a driver's test. If, for example, say the driving examiner tells you to turn right and you, for whatever reason, mistake the instruction and you turn left, okay, as long as you do it safely and you're not endangering any other traffic, or you're not screaming across 2 or 3 lanes of traffic to do something that you thought the examiner said, then that should not be a fail on a driver's test because you misunderstood a direction, okay? Now, you need to keep in mind as well that driving examiners give clear instruction and they give you plenty of notice when they want you to turn or do something at a controlled intersection. Because remember, they do this all day long with different drivers who have varying abilities and skills when they're driving. So they give you clear instruction and they give you good notice. And if they think that you're coming up to an intersection and they told you to go right and you're moving to turn left, they're going to say, no, I wanted you to go right. If that mistake happens, no, that should not be an automatic fail, as long as you don't do something dangerous. All right? Okay, Johanna, on my driving test, okay, so that's that, and I've had that happen with students as well, where I had one student, I might have told this story a little while ago. We're coming up to the driving center. We're about 15 minutes out from when we needed to get into the driving center to get set up and check it in and those types of things. And we come up to an intersection, and I said to the student, make a right-hand turn at this intersection. Well, the student was completely freaked out about the test and whatnot. And he comes up, and I'm like, no, don't do it, because we're in a tractor-trailer unit. We're making a right-hand turn. It can be a little bit technical, but he didn't set up right. He didn't get the truck out into the other lane, and he just didn't set up right. And I'm like, abort, abort. And we had to go straight through. Well, I had never gone straight through before because it wasn't a truck route. We ended up way down in the university somewhere. This was in Victoria. And we come back, and it was a little dicey to kind of get there on time for the beginning of his driver's test, which added a little bit of stress to the whole thing. So it does happen that mistakes happen in terms of interpretation of directions, especially on the part of students who are really nervous for the purposes of their driver's test. Corey, I'd imagine they would have you box around to where they wanted you to go or adapt, I'd imagine. Yeah, Corey, they do that, and I'm sure it happens at least once or twice a day that a student misinterprets directions or whatever the driving examiner told him or her. And like I said, it's not reason for failing a student. Okay, it's not a reason that you're going to fail a driver's test. Like I said, unless you do something dangerous. Okay, so don't do that for the purposes of your driver's test. Okay, so passing, again, coming back to what Tim said about you shouldn't be exceeding the posted speed limit to pass and those types of things. If somebody's tailgating you, especially on a multi-lane road, if you're on an interstate or freeway, you don't need to speed to pass traffic on the freeway or interstate. And if somebody's tailgating you, then just hold your own until you get past the vehicle that you're passing, because speeding up, you're just you're jeopardizing your own safety, and you're jeopardizing the safety of the vehicles around you, not to mention the goofball who's behind you, who's tailgating you. Okay, and I know it's easy to get drawn into that by the actions of other people on the roadway, other drivers and whatnot, but focus on what you're doing. Get home safely, get home so that you're not going to get into trouble and those types of things. All right, is there any smart drivers out there who are taking driver's tests now in the winter time? Do you now have snow and those types of things? I know we've had a couple of dumps of snow here in the interior of British Columbia, which is unusual for us. We usually don't get snow this early in the season. DC, I have a question kind of off topic. I'm wondering if you or anyone knows where can I get a safety certificate? Do Canadian Tire do these inspections? Thanks. Oh, a safety you're wanting a safety certification for your vehicle, so an annual inspection. DC, any automotive shop can do that for you. They'll do an inspection on your vehicle for you. It should be about $150. If there isn't anything wrong with your vehicle, you should be able to get an inspection done on your vehicle. And just on that note of what DC was asking about getting an inspection done on a vehicle, if you're purchasing a vehicle and you're buying it secondhand, pre-owned from someone else, then definitely take it to an auto shop and get them to do a pre-trip inspection on it for you. Or not a pre-trip inspection, but an inspection on it for you. And it costs you about $100 and it's money well invested. Okay? Dinner time. Thanks, and I'll be sure to join the audience next week. Thanks, Tim. We'll talk to you soon. All the best, and have a great night, my friend. Okay, Margaret, will the examiner have you pass other vehicles on the driver's test? Margaret, it's unlikely that you're going to be passing other vehicles on a driver's test because you're going to be doing the posted speed limit. You're not going to be exceeding the posted speed limit for the purposes of a driver's test. Okay? And so, again, coming back to what the speed limit is for the purposes of a driver's test, it's either the posted speed limit or the flow of traffic, whichever is less. So, for the purposes of a driver's test, you're going to be driving in the right-hand lane because you're going to be going slower than the rest of the traffic, and it's a regulation that slower traffic stay right. And I kind of chuckle about that because one of my competitors, who is big on Twitter, he just rubs me the wrong way because he's all about power over. It's like, you will do this or you will die. It just drives me crazy. But anyway, I just keep kind of looking at it. And, now I lost my and I was talking about something, speed. Forget. Now it's completely gone. The thought went completely out of my head. Yang, hello from South Australia. I got my license earlier this year. I started watching your videos while preparing for my road test. Thank you for those great videos. And you are most welcome, my friend. And yes, they drive on the left in Australia. Yes, they do. Okay, DC, okay, you're most welcome. And now I wanted to know what I was going to tell you about speed. We were talking about speed, and it's completely gone out of my head. Johanna, is it automatic fail if I make a mistake during parallel park? Johanna, no, it is not an automatic fail. It is an automatic fail if you push the car up over the curb, strike the curb, or knock the driving examiner out of his or her seat when you're parallel parking. Those are all automatic fails on a driver's test. But if you're too far from the curb, then no, that's not an automatic fail on a driver's test. Yang, that's true. Amy Buck, Rick taught skills and attitudes which are important. Yes, we try to do that. And actually, Yang, if any of this crazy COVID pandemic thing ever goes away, I'm planning some trips into the States and into Australia and other places in the world where I'm going to go and do driving videos, driving test videos in other countries. So I'll come to Australia and I'll do some videos there for you as well. James, how many hours should I practice? 6 to 8 weeks before I take the driver's test? James, I would suggest that you take every opportunity that you can to drive. And I would, if you're driving around, driving to the store, those types of things. But in terms of actual driving lessons, I would say that you spend 2 or 3 lessons a week where you're specifically going out and practicing for the driving test. But any other time, take every opportunity you can to drive the vehicle. That's what I would do for you. Nan, that would be awesome. I would love to come for coffee there in Adelaide. I haven't been to Adelaide. I would love to come there. That would be really great. Okay. Catherine. Oh, and the tailgater gave you the finger too. Oh, so that was very nice of them. Did you wave? That's usually what I do when people give me the finger. I just nicely wave and have a nice day. That really annoys them. Okay, Tarwali, what do you think of taking the driving test in winter when you're in North Dakota? I definitely think that you should take the driving test in the winter in North Dakota. That's what I think you should do. Because A, you're going to have a vehicle that's going to be fitted with block heaters. It's going to have good winter tires on it. Most of the traffic is not going to be driving crazy stupid. So, you're going to do just fine. And, just have a bit of practice driving on hard pack and those types of things, and you'll be just fine, okay? And actually, Cora put the video up for you last week that I did, and have a look at that. Have a look at the other video that's a longer, more in detail video. and you'll be just fine in North Dakota taking your test in the wintertime. And this is the other thing about to all the smart drivers out there that take your driver's test in the wintertime. With COVID right now, we have a backlog in the DMVs. Oh my God, if they close, let's all pray. I'm not a praying person, but let's all pray that they do not close the DMVs again with this COVID thing going crazy. Okay, because if we do, I don't think they'll ever get through the backlog, and I'm not sure how they would ever deal with the backlog. So let's just all pray that they do not close the DMVs again. So the other reason that I'm advocating that you take your license test in the wintertime is that you're more likely to get a test date, because right now a lot of the DMVs are backed up, and student drivers are having difficulty getting driving tests because of the backlog that was created in the spring when the driving test centers were closed for 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever they were closed for. So definitely take your test in the wintertime, okay? Corey, you were mentioning about slower traffic, stay right. Slower traffic, stay right. Slower traffic, stay right. It's still not coming back to me, Corey. It's completely gone. I'll have to go over to Twitter and have a look at the channel again. What do you think about 4-season tires is good, or summer or winter tires? All right, so let's go back to talking about tires being wintertime. You definitely don't want to have all-season tires in the wintertime. You want to have all-weather tires. And all-weather tires have either the M&S symbol on them, or they have the snowflake inside the mountain symbol. That's what all-weather tires are. And those will get you through the wintertime. However, if you are in a place like North Dakota where they get a lot of snow, or Minnesota or Wyoming or someplace like that, you definitely want to have a vehicle that has dedicated snow tires on your vehicle. For example, once it gets to December here, I have a dedicated set of snow tires on my vehicle. I like Michelin tires. I have a set of Michelin X Ice tires. And the reason that you want dedicated winter tires on your vehicle is first, they have what's called siping, so they have good tread on them to evacuate snow out of the treads of the tires. And you want to evacuate the snow out, because if you don't, then the snow builds up in the tread and it just becomes a slick, and it doesn't help you out at all. The other thing about dedicated snow tires is that the rubber compound is softer, so it stays flexible in cold weather, and it has to be flexible in order to evacuate the snow out of the treads. All weather tires will not do that, and all season tires definitely will not do that. So if you're operating in a place where you get a lot of snow, a lot of hard pack, those types of things, slippery conditions, then you definitely want a set of snow tires on your vehicle. And if you got parents, their vehicle or whatnot, they're definitely going to have those on your vehicle. Okay. Joanna, do I have to stop when the bus is opposite lane of mine, or have to keep going? Okay, so the only time that you don't stop for a school bus, and somebody said this on one of the comments this week, that there were different states had different laws. The only state that I'm aware of, if there is a concrete barrier down the center and you have to stop for the school bus, is going to be the state of New York. Every other state has a law for school buses that you don't have to stop if they're on a highway and there's going to be a concrete median down the center, or a grass strip or something like that. Okay, every other place you don't have to. And even in New York, if you do that on the other side of a concrete barrier and there's a bus there, a school bus with lights flashing, I would be very careful about that. You might get rear-ended. Okay, so be very careful if you do decide to do that. As a rule, know that most school boards and school bus companies plan where they let children off very carefully, and it's unlikely that they're going to be letting children off, or school students, might be high school students, it may not be children, along a highway or busy road. Okay, they're just not going to do that. They're going to plan so that they can let students off the school bus in a safe location where there isn't a lot of traffic. And they're not going to, as a rule, they're not going to have school bus stops along a busy highway that's running at 65 mile an hour. And, they're just not going to do that. They're going to get off onto the side roads and those types of things, and they're going to plan accordingly. Because not only is the school bus going to, the authorities who run the school bus and plan the routes and those types of things, they're going to get a lot of feedback from the school and whatnot. So they're going to try and do that as best they can to keep not only the students safe, but also the driving public. So think about that as well. Okay. Hawkman, should I take my car to a mechanic to do a full inspection before a road trip, or is that overkill? Hawkman, that's a bit too much. You don't quite need to do that much. You can do the inspection yourself. Corey will put the video up for you on the pre-trip inspection checklist. You can just head over to the Smart Drive Test website and you can pick that up over there. Okay? Slower, stay right. Posted speed limit. I'm still thinking about this, Corey. So for what Margaret asked me earlier about, are they going to ask you to pass on a driver's test? You are going to pass, especially if you're in New York. You're going to get into a situation where there's taxi cabs or other vehicles that are going to be pulled over, letting passengers off, transit buses, those types of things. You are going to have to pass these vehicles, but it's not you executing that maneuver, because the vehicle in front of you is going too slow or those types of things, right? And as well, and I would ask Corey to put that video up for you on how to change lanes to move around pedestrians or other vehicles or those types of things, because this is a skill that Margaret's going to need, and other people who are taking their test inside an urban area. You may have to move out into the other lane to get around, say, a transit bus or a taxi or some other vehicle that's blocking your path. And if you do that, and if you do deviate into the other lane of traffic, you do have to mirror signal, shoulder check. You have to signal. You have to completely move out and around the vehicle, and then you have to mirror signal, shoulder check, and signal and move back into your lane to continue is what you need to be doing for the purposes of your driver's test. Okay. Hawkman, you're most welcome. Paul, how long should a pre-trip take overall? So, Paul, are you talking about a pre-trip inspection for your personal vehicle, for your driver's license, or are you talking about a commercial vehicle, like a CDL vehicle? Okay. James, you still have the #1 spot on YouTube in my eyes for the best driving instruction period. Salute. Thank you so much, James, for your kind words. That's awesome. We do our best to help you out there and get your license and make you a smarter, safer driver on the roadways. That's our goal here. Corey, maybe regulations versus social driving. I also remember speed. The cues are helping, Corey. It's still... I just see, that's what happens when I get off on a tangent and I start having a go at my competitors. What bothers me about other people who are trying to teach traffic safety is they're like, you must do this, and that whole power over versus empowerment, that just really bothers me. It really bothers me, because it's just about, look how smart I am and how much I know. Nobody cares how smart you are. Nobody cares how much you know. We care about how you can help me. That's what we care about, and you're not really helping me because your tone is terrible. Maybe you need to get a girlfriend because she'll help you with your tone. Okay, I digress. Paul, pre-trip inspection for a commercial vehicle like a semi. Okay, so Paul, for commercial vehicles. All right, small bus, less than 25 passengers, you have 20 minutes. A bus or dump truck, you have 30 minutes. And for a tractor trailer unit, you have 40 minutes for the purposes of a driver's test. That's how long it should take you. Now, in the real world, it's not going to take you that long, because your pre-trip inspection is going to be spread over the course of your workday. You're not going to do your pre-trip inspection all at once. So it depends on whether you're working or whether you're preparing for a driver's test. If you're doing a driver's test, you're going to do your pre-trip inspection all at once. And so those are the times. So again, bus less than 25 passengers should take you less than 20 minutes. Coach, school bus, or dump truck, straight truck, 5-ton, should take you 30 minutes, and then tractor trailer unit should take you 40 minutes. And those also include the small bus. Obviously is probably going to have juice brakes on it. It's probably going to have hydraulic brakes, but the other three, the school buses, the trucks, and coaches and tractor trailer units are all going to have air brakes. And that pre-trip inspection time also includes pre-trip inspection on your air brakes as well. Okay? Yeah, yeah. You know, women are good at teaching men about their tone because it's very important about your tone. Yadav, good morning from India. How are you, my friend? That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what it is, but anyway, it just, we want to help people. We want to be of service. We want to make them better. We want to empower them to be better, safer, smarter drivers. That's our goal here. That's what we want to do. So, and just completely off tangent with the United States because, of course, you cannot be drawn in a little bit to, the presidential race that went on and the election and whatnot. Are they going to is the Secret Service going to have to drag Donald Trump out of the White House? Has that ever happened before in history? Just a question for all my American friends. What's going to happen there? It'll be interesting. Okay, so James, you're in Rhode Island. Okay. Tarwali, Tim, is there any videos of how to prepare your car for the driving test in the wintertime? Yes, there are. There's two videos, actually. There's the pre-trip inspection video, and there's also a car care video. But basically, for the purposes of wintertime, just go through your vehicle, make sure that you have windshield washer, put winter washer fluid in it. And this is for all of my smart drivers who live in cold states. Make sure that you put winter washer fluid in your vehicle because remember, when water freezes, it expands and it goes into a plastic jug inside your car. And if you don't put winter washer fluid in there, it will freeze, it will expand, and it will break that fluid container, that plastic jug that essentially is the reservoir that holds the windshield washer fluid. And I had a friend who told me that they mistakenly didn't put winter washer fluid in. And I think it was some crazy amount of money. It was like hundreds of dollars to replace the reservoir for... Margaret said they're going to need it to bring in a backhoe to get Trump out of the Oval Office. That's funny. That's very funny. Johanna, when someone passed, will they get their license the day when they did their driver's test, or do they have to wait for a long time to get it? No, Johanna, you get your license on the day. You get a temporary license, and then within 6 to 8 weeks, the DMV will send you your full license in the mail, your plastic card in the mail. Most of the time, however, but on the day you pass, you will be issued a temporary license. You just carry that around with you. Epic, if I'm taking a long trip in the wintertime, should you actually carry spare bottles of engine antifreeze, winter washer fluid, and all-season washer fluid in addition to a winter driving emergency kit? No, Epic. If you top up your windshield washer fluid before you leave, there is plenty of washer fluid in the reservoir that will get you through on a trip or whatnot. It should, like in the wintertime, the winter washer fluid should really last you about anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. It should last you most of a month because there's a lot of washer fluid in there. You really don't need a whole lot to keep the windshield clear. If you are going through a lot of it and you get a lot of those slushy, sloppy days, then yeah, you could throw a jug in the trunk and have it with you. But, I just keep it in the garage and just top it up every couple of weeks and then you're fine. So you don't really need to have any of that in the vehicle. Most vehicles now in this day and age, you're not going to have antifreeze. You're not going to have to check that because most vehicles all run antifreeze. But, as part of your winter service and getting your vehicle ready, you can take it into a shop and have them tested. But for the most part, it's going to be half and half. It's going to be half water and half antifreeze, which is usually good down to minus 35, minus 40 degrees Celsius, minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, the same. Okay. Johanna, you're most welcome. Anything we can do to help you for sure. So, there we go. Okay, and Corey, I still haven't figured out what I was talking about with the other person, but I basically said what I needed to say about, what we do through life, and this goes with driving too, and this goes back to, we were talking before about tailgaters. It's just like tailgaters is like, really, are you in that much of a hurry that you need to completely give up all of your autonomy of driving? Because that's essentially what you're doing when you're tailgating somebody else. You're giving all that up. You're giving up your total control and hoping and praying, not really hoping and praying, because obviously most people who tailgate, they're simply too arrogant anyway, but they're just giving up their autonomy, their total control to the person in front of them, hoping that they can react fast enough if the person in front of them does something dumb or something goofy. So don't do it. Corey, I guess we will have a firmer idea once the states certify the results. Certify the results? How much more can you certify the results? Joe Biden won the election. It's very clear that he's won the election. He's got like, what, 290, 300 seats now? Or 300, whatever the electoral ballots, I think it's called. It's, yeah, I guess. Cole, I renewed my permit in August and still haven't received the permit card. Is the delay because of COVID? Cole, you renewed your permit. So, yeah, probably that's what it is. I would suspect, Cole, is it's a delay because of that. I might also make a couple of phone calls to the agency and just make sure that, in fact, they did update your license. Trav, what are some things you can recommend to celebrate passing your driving test? Okay, so Trav, celebrate passing your driving test. Go for a drive to someplace that you like to go hiking or walking. Go to your favorite restaurant or favorite coffee shop with your BFF and have one of your favorite yummy drinks. Go for a walk with your mom because, our mom's awesome. And, go out with your friend. Buy yourself something. For example, for me, as some of you know, I do jujitsu. When I get my blue belt in jujitsu, I get a new gi. And for some people that may not be a big deal, but for me, I'm wearing a ratty old gi. I don't have one of the, one of the school gis. The gi is the uniform. And so that's for me. So, it's for whatever. Get yourself a little keychain with a celebration on it, some funky lights. Just about anything. It can be anything. Go to the local coffee shop, drive through the drive-through, pay for the coffee for the person behind you. That's a celebration. Donate some money to your local charity or to whoever you like. Donate some money to your local church. Celebrations are not, big, I invite 20 friends over and have a big powwow with lots of alcohol and those types of things. That's not necessarily celebration. Celebrations can be lots of things. And, I do the same thing, lots of celebrations here. Last week, for example, we had 190 people on the live stream. That was a huge celebration for me. That was a little success. It was a great success on the, on the path of the business here and smart drive tests and whatnot. So, celebrations don't have to be huge things. It can just be going to your favorite restaurant and ordering your favorite cheeseburger. It can be that simple. So lots of things you can do to celebrate. Going for a drive, picking up your friend, and going out and hanging out in your favorite coffee shop. That's a celebration, right? Just acknowledging your successes in life, right? Because we need to stop. Because we live in a world where we're not human beings. We're human doers. And we're always doing something. And we're just like, oh yeah, I just passed my license, and we just move on to the next thing. Right? Without stopping and acknowledging that. And I think if we don't stop and acknowledge that, it bypasses gratitude. We need gratitude. We need to be gracious, not just with the people in our world, but with ourselves. We need to be gracious for ourselves. Like, look what I did. Because not everybody can do this, right? We think, oh, everybody else does this. No, not everybody else does this. It's the same thing graduating from high school. Not everybody graduates from high school, so you need to stop and you need to celebrate that. So, celebrate your successes, and then that way you won't grow up and be a crusty old guy, right? Trudes Brown. No, this is actually my cup. It's not my son's cup at all. This is kind of the brandings of Smart Drive Test Spider-Man. He's awesome. Mallory, I love your videos. I find them very educational. Excellent. Glad we can help out, Mallory. Tarwali, what time should you arrive at the DMV for your driving test? Okay, so if you 20 minutes to half an hour before your test is going to be great. You get you checked in and whatnot. Singh, Rick, I live in Vernon. I insured my vehicle with a learner license and now I passed the novice. Do I have to insure my vehicle again? No, as long as your vehicle has insurance on it, the one time you're going to be great. Okay, Chanel, can I go on a road trip after I pass my road test, or is it best to wait? No, why not? Go on a road test. That's an awesome way to celebrate getting your license. Awesome. Car, thanks for sharing informative videos. I passed last week. That's awesome. Congratulations on passing your license last week. That's brilliant. Epic, if you're a member of CAA, the United States, the affiliated AAA, they have the states guidebooks. Can you use those on long road trips for hotels? Keep in mind, all states ban long trips due to COVID. Yes, so there is some travel advisories and restrictions and those types of things right now. But yes, you can use those guidebooks from AAA. And, you know, as you said, Epic, they have heaps and heaps of information that are available to their members who are members of the AAA. Okay? Hawkman, is there a way to mentally prepare for hydroplaning scenarios? Should go to an empty parking lot on a rainy day on my test. Okay, Hawkman, if you got decent tires on your vehicle, even if you got bad tires on your vehicle, hydroplaning is not the big deal that it once was. Definitely don't be on cruise control if it's raining and you know that you have tires on your vehicle that are compromised. Definitely be on the throttle, because as soon as you feel the vehicle start to, the tires will start to spin because you're in the water's too deep. Just get your foot off the throttle and the car will sit back down and regain traction. So it's not as dangerous as it once was, but know that. I mean, we live in a world with good tires, okay? Thank you very much, Cole. Good night, my friend. Yeah, and as Marino said there, make sure that your tires aren't underinflated. Make sure you have good tire pressure. Make sure you have good tires in your vehicle. I just keep good tires on my vehicle. I just will not drive them if they don't have good tread on them. So that's the other part as well. Alex, I passed my road test after watching your videos. Thanks a lot. You are most welcome, my friend. Congratulations on passing your driver's test. All right, so I think we're nearing the end here tonight. We'll wrap up here. And if you have any other questions, leave me a comment down in the comment section there as well. Drop me an email over at the Smart Drive Test website, rick@smartdrivetest.com, and we'll definitely get an answer for your question and help you out to pass your driver's test. If you passed a road test in the last couple of weeks, earned your license, congratulations on that. And if you have a driver's test coming up this week, good luck on that. And remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great night. Bye now.